today's video, we're making Christmas cards.
Let's go over the art supplies that I'll be using for today's painting. First up is the paper. This here is the Canson XL watercolor paper. It's great all-purpose, durable paper that I like to use. And it makes for a great cardstock as well, which is why I grabbed it. It's sturdy, it's got good texture for writing on the back, and great texture for painting on. Next up, let's just go over the paintbrushes that I will be using. I recommend having a large paintbrush so that you can cover the full surface of your painting with your background color. The larger the better, just means you're going to cover more surface space with less brush marks. Unless that's what you want to go for, then have a smaller paintbrush so you can see those brush marks. I'm going to be using this specialty paintbrush, which is a grainer, but I'm just using it because I'm going to add some flecks to my background of my painting. This is a stage in the painting process that you don't have to do if you don't want to. And if you are interested in doing that, but you don't have this kind of paintbrush, if you have a fan brush or any stiff paintbrushes, you can just dab it on there and then physically flick them like this versus tapping like I'll be doing. And then next up, for the actual paintbrushes that I'll be using for the painting itself, I'm going to use some round brushes, mostly for dabbing perfect little dots. And then the majority of the time, I'm going to be painting with a flat brush. The size that I'm using is a size 2, but you can use whatever size paintbrush that you have on hand or that you prefer. Next up, for the supplies to be used for today's painting, I'm going to be using my gouache paint as my background colors. So I'm going to most likely be using the peach one for the painting. However, I like both of these together, so we'll see. But yes, gouache paint I'm going to use as my background solid color. And then for the actual wreath that I'm going to be painting, I'm going to be using my acrylic heavy body Charvin paint and the golden open paints that I have. When it comes to doing this painting project, you can use whatever paint you have on hand. If you only have gouache paint, use it. If you only have watercolors, that's great. You can use those as well. Just skip the painting the backdrop part of the painting. Now I'm going to be using the Naphthol Red Light as an accent color. And my main colors that I'm going to be using are actually going to be Carbon Black and Hansa Yellow Opaque. So when you mix these two colors, you get some amazing greens, and I just absolutely love them. So I want to focus on that. However, if you're not interested in doing a lot of mixing, you can use convenience colors like, say, a khaki green or an olive green or anything like that to get some really great green colors. And then last but not least, obviously we're gonna want to have some white so we can do some different variations of these colors. So what I want to do here is just show you the kind of color options that you can create with the black and the yellow. So at this moment, I've mixed some yellow with a tiny bit of black. And look how amazing, look at that beautiful green color you can get. It's so earthy and just like, to me, screams nature and Christmas. And then if I wanted to, I could add more yellow to it. And I get an even brighter color. And then say I want to add some white to all of that just to give me a new variation. So this one with white. This one up here with white. You know, you get some really beautiful green colors. Let me clean this paintbrush and then I'm going to show you an even darker color that you can create. Okay, so this here, I've loaded the brush up. It's yellow with black, but it's heavier on the black, so it looks really dark. But instead of being a black color, when you add some white to it, it lightens it up and it gives you this very interesting green on the grayer side, which when you're doing your wreaths or any kind of paintings that involve trees and nature, and you want anything that's going to give you some depth to your painting, you're going to want to have some variations in your colors. And we created all of these with just 2 colors, with just the yellow and the black.
All right, let's dive right into it. So the first step that I'm going to take is painting the background color. And then I'm going to actually place out where I'm going to put my wreath. So I'm using my paint tape roll thingamabobber. You can use anything. You can use a bowl, a glass, a cup, you know, whatever you have on hand to shape out your circle. The next step that I took was to cut out the same shape but on just basic printer paper. So then that way I can protect the center where I'm going to be writing my Merry Christmas. And I'm doing this because I'm going to be flecking paint down and splattering it around. If you're not going to do this step, you can just skip that part of cutting the extra paper. Now, the reason why I love wreaths for last minute Christmas cards is because of how simple they are, how easy they are to make, and how you can personalize them to be any way you want. So if you're going to go the same route as I am, I'm starting off with just layering down some basic shapes and paintbrush markings with some darker green, and then I'm going to start to layer on top of that with lighter green variations that I had mixed earlier on in this video. It'll add depth to it and give it an idea of different types of greenery being used for the wreath itself. And what I love about wreaths is their texture and how you can have different types of evergreens and things like that to make them and make them beautiful. So that's an aspect of it that I put into my creation here. So if you really love the type of wreaths that are made with just like Christmas decorations, like ornaments, you can make your very own like that. Just do a lot of circles and layer them on top of one another. You know, if you prefer to do a color themed one and you want a all pink wreath, you do that too. Make this uniquely you. And when you give it to others for their card, they'll see that in it, and it'll just be that extra level of you, personalization, and making this Christmas card special. Now, right now, I am layering down a little bit more texture with one of my textural round brushes because, again, that's an aspect that I love so much about wreaths, is just their texture to them, the naturalness to it. It's beautiful. Another reason why I absolutely love wreaths as a last minute Christmas card idea is the fact that it gives you that clear space in the center to write your message. So you can say Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Noel. It could be anything that you want in the center. It can even just say the full message right there. Merry Christmas, love, so-and-so, you know? So it can be whatever you want it to be. And the last reason why I chose a wreath for this tutorial is the fact that doing this painting itself took me 7 minutes, which means you can easily bang out several different cards in one afternoon. So if you only have 30 minutes to make your personalized cards and you had always planned on having this and you're like, well, now I don't have time. Well, if you've got 30 minutes, you can make several of these. If you have any questions about today's tutorial, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you guys enjoy your creative time and find ways to use art to bring peace into your holiday season. And until next time, stay magical.